So hello everybody, my name is Cameron, and today, as already said, we're going to go through video calling and more in depth into Zoom and certain things within it. Um, so yeah, our objectives for our presentation today, we're going to go over what video calling is, different applications for video calling, how to use Zoom to schedule and start meetings, and just reviewing all the in-meeting settings and options that you have available to you. So in general, what is video calling? So in a sense, it's similar to a phone call where you're hearing people, you're interacting with people, but you get to see each other, obviously face to face. And you're having to do it without travel, which is a really big convenience, especially nowadays, which is just great to connect with family members, or friends that are in different places at different times as well. And you can have group calls as well, like what we're having right now, with more than one person. So there are obviously some cons to video calling as well. All the participants in the call need to have the same application in order to do it. The video can be blurry or cut out. That's due to poor connection. So if your internet isn't up to the highest speed or it's not at a great level, your audio can be poor, your video can be poor and like freeze up and stop sometimes. And yeah, it needs an internet connection to do. So these are some video calling applications that are available. To make a video call, you must choose an app that all participants either have or one that they can download on their device. So you have Google Hangout, you have Google Duo, you have Skype, Zoom, which we're using right now, FaceTime, and WhatsApp. So right now we're going to go through all of these in slight detail, and then we're going to get into Zoom more specifically. So Google Hangout is a group video call that you can have a maximum of 10 people in, and there's no time limit, so you can call for however long you'd like to on this. And it works on both Apple and Android phones and all computers as well. And Google Duo is quite similar as well. This one you have a max of 12 participants. And there is a time limit on this one, and it's for 25 hours. And again, it works on both Apple and Android phones as well as computers. Skype, which I've used a little bit, is a group video that allows 50 participants. So that one is quite bigger than the two Google applications. And there's a time limit of 10 hours a day and 100 hours a month. So you just divvy that up however you'd like to with Skype. And that works on both Apple and Android phones and computers again. Now, FaceTime, you can have a maximum of 32 participants, and there's no time limit for FaceTime video calls. Now, this is only available on Apple devices, so whether you have a iPhone, iPad, or a MacBook, this will be pre-installed on your device, so you'll just look for an icon that looks like this, and FaceTime is available to you. Now, WhatsApp, again, is a group video call that has 10 participants. And the time limit is roughly an hour. It can go under, it can go over. It's kind of finicky that way, but roughly around an hour. And it works on both Apple and Android devices as well as computers. Now, Zoom, which we are all using today, has a maximum of 100 participants, and there's a 40-minute limit to free Zoom video calls. So if you want to have a Zoom call longer than 40 minutes, you'll have to upgrade it. I don't know the exact prices on the upgrades, but I do know that it costs to upgrade Zoom. And it works on Apple and Android phones as well as computers. So now, at this point, we're going to go into Zoom more specifically and just the ins and outs of it. So when you open up Zoom, you will see a menu like this. And it'll have 4 icons here. So if you want to start a meeting instantly, you'll click on this orange icon here. If you want to join an existing meeting, you'll click just the join here. And if you want to schedule a meeting for later, you will click on the schedule here, and it'll pull up a calendar, and then you can type in a date and a time, and it'll schedule in any meetings that you have. So if you click join meeting, you'll have to type in the meeting ID or the personal link name, and then it'll say, like it'll have these down here, which is turning off your video or your audio. So if you want to just join in and you don't want anybody to see or hear you, you'll click those for approval. And then once you click join, you'll join into the meeting. So if you click into a scheduled meeting, you can name the meeting under topic. So up here, add the time and date, like I said, up in here. Decide if your meeting requires a password. So this can be helpful if you don't want any unwanted people joining your Zoom meetings, which can happen. If you set a password for it, then you can send it out to the participants that you want in your Zoom call. And then they have that so that they can specifically join your Zoom meeting, and nobody else who doesn't need to be there will be there. And then you can adjust other meeting settings down here. So down here with, I think that's host controls, host video, participant video. So if you want just the host, which is you, to have your video on and your participants not to, same thing with your audio, you can do that in there. And then once it's all done, you click schedule and your meeting will be scheduled. And now these are advanced settings. So if you go a little bit further into Zoom, you can find all of these. So you can make your meeting extra secure by adjusting the advanced options. So you can have a waiting room and mute people when they come in. So that way, if people are in a waiting room, you can see all the people. So if somebody happens to get in who doesn't need to be there, you don't let them in. You only let in the people that you know are supposed to be there, and things like that. So when you're done scheduling, when you're done selecting your settings, you just click schedule, and with all those settings in place, you'll have your meeting all good to go. So now this is for inviting people to your scheduled meeting. So you can do that by going into the meetings tab at the top of your window, which looks like this here. You click the meeting you want to invite them to, and then you copy the invitation, and then you can send it to them through an email or a text message, or however you communicate with people. And then once that's out there, they can click that and they'll instantly hop in. So all of these buttons in Zoom, you can all see these, but on your computer, this is what it'll look like. And on your phone, it'll be more vertical to fit your screen. So this is what it looks like. And now other people's video, it'll be the same way. So they'll see themselves smaller, but they'll see you bigger, and that's just how it goes. And this is how, like what I was saying, this is how they'll see you. So yeah. Just stop and start the video. So you can, like to put on your camera, you just click the stop video or the start video button. So on your computer, in your tab, it'll be over here. And you just click that if you want to turn your camera on and off. And on your phone, it'll look like this. So as you can tell, on your computer, the bar is much bigger, and the mobile, it's smaller. So you can see that the start and stop video to enable your camera will be that icon there. Now, adjusting your video settings. You can adjust these settings further by clicking the upward arrow next to the camera button. So right next to the stop video, there's a little arrow can click on that, and it can be your FaceTime camera, and then there's the virtual backgrounds that Macaulay was using earlier that you saw, and then video settings as well. So you can select virtual backgrounds just by clicking in those virtual background settings there. Now, to mute your microphone, you'll see that there's a microphone button with mute under it. So as soon as you click on that, no one will be able to hear you. Or if you have background noise going on and you don't want people to hear that, you can just click that button right there, and this is what it looks like on your computer. And on your phone, this is what it will look like there. So look for the microphone with mute, click that, and now you are sound free. Now adjusting your sound settings. So by clicking the arrow next to the microphone, you can adjust your sound settings. So if you're using headphones that have a microphone on them and you want to use that because it might be clearer, you can click on that, or just your computer's microphone and your speakers as well. So if you have speakers hooked up to your laptop, you're going to have the sound coming out of there, or just again, internal. And then you can test all of the speakers and your audio levels out beforehand. If you don't know how loud they are, how clear it is, you can test that out for yourself. Yeah, select microphone input and speaker output options and more. So that's all in the little arrow under the microphone here that you can go into. Speaker view and gallery view. So in the top right here, you'll see the 9 squares. So that's just, you can see everybody at once. So if we go down here, it'll look like this, and that's in the speaker view. So you can adjust that just by clicking up there, and it'll show different options you can have it in. So you can either just see one person, or you can only see the person talking, or you can see everybody at once. So it's very customizable to what you would like. Now to flip your camera around, you can only do this on your phone. So in the top left here, it'll have a little camera icon, and when you tap on it, it'll flip your camera around, so you don't need to be twisting your phone around to show people something in front of you. You can just flip it, and then it'll activate your front camera, and then you can look around and show people things that are in front of you without needing to constantly twist your hand around. And now on computers, this is the managing participants button. So when you're the host of a meeting, you can click on this button. You can click more next to a participant, next to their name, to manage them. So right here, I can click on the more tab. I can stop their video. I can make them a host or a co-host. I can add them as a new name, or I can put them in a waiting room. So if your meeting doesn't have a password per se, and someone you don't need is in that meeting, you could put them right in a waiting room and just essentially have them out, or remove right there. You can start and stop their video or their microphone as well. So if someone's making noise that they don't notice, or if they're just being disruptive, you can go in and stop their microphone as well. And like I said, you can make them a host, co-host, or remove them from the meeting, and more things. Now, screen sharing, you'll see that is a screen icon here under the share screen. You can share with others like I'm doing now. Click the green screen share button and select which screen. So it'll pull this up, and if you have files open already, you can click those, or if you need to show your desktop just where it is, you can click on that, and just any file that you need to show, you can click on and present to your people in your meeting. So adjusting your screen share options, if you're the host, which means you started the meeting, you can change the sharing options. So you click the arrow next to the share screen button, and you'll select who can share. So going in here, how many participants can share the screen. So you can either make it as just you can share it or multiple people at once can share their screens. So I can see this being effective in a classroom setting, just off the top of my head as an idea. Yeah, who can share and then who can start sharing when someone else is sharing. Those are all options you can go into. Now, other options in the meeting, the invite button here lets you invite people to the meeting while you already have, or while you're already in it. So I myself as a host could invite other people to this meeting if I wanted to. On the record button, right down here, it allows you to tape the meeting locally, meaning on your computer, or in the cloud, so it's on Zoom server, and that just depends on where you want to put it. And then reactions lets you send little emoji reactions to the rest of the group. So if you click that button there, a little emoji will pop up on your screen like that. Now end or leave the meeting. So it just lets you hang up. So on your computer, it'll be that red end meeting. And then on your computer, top right, you can leave your call. So that wraps up the presentation.